Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Wednesday, October 15th. The Pittsburgh Steelers will play the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow on Thursday Night Football. I'll be driving to Cincinnati along with Ed Thompson and Brendan Howe tomorrow just about noon. And we'll have all kinds of coverage from Cincinnati then. We've got a great amount of content coming up between now and then. We will have our usual preview show tonight with me and Smitty on Afternoon Drive. Also have another episode of Night Shift with Joe Morrison tonight at 8 p.m. live. And then me and Smitty have a very special episode of Afternoon Drive, which will come out early on Thursday. We've already recorded with former Steelers defensive lineman Braden Fehoko. You definitely want to stick around for that one on Thursday. Really excited about that. We recorded that last night. Today I want to talk about one specific matchup in this game between the Steelers and the Bengals, and that is the one between cornerback Joey Porter Jr. and wide receiver Tee Higgins. I expect Porter to follow Higgins around, and that be one matchup that the Steelers leave relatively static in their secondary. They may not, but that's what my expectation is, and that's what I would be doing if I were them. Porter and Higgins have always been a natural matchup. If you recall, last year Mike Tomlin called Tee Higgins Shaq, basically, and he is a physical specimen. He is a tall, long receiver, 6'4", 220 pounds. He uses his size and his strength as a significant advantage. And Joey Porter Jr. is the Steelers. He's their big guy. He's 6'2", 195. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is also a bigger player, but he's not quite as tall. He's not quite as long as Porter. And when you look at dealing with tall, long receivers, that is exactly why the Steelers drafted Joey Porter Jr. I mean, that and like he was projected to be a first-round pick, and his dad played here, and he went to Penn State and all that other stuff. But what any team was looking at and why Joey Porter Jr. was projected to be drafted so highly is his ability to shut down big, strong, physical receivers. This is 100% of the job he was drafted to do. And through 2 seasons, Joey Porter's been pretty good at it with one significant exception, and that is he gets called for a lot of penalties. And through his first 2 seasons, he drew 12 total flags in 2023 and 17 total flags in 2024, with 8 and 12 of those penalties accepted for a whopping total of 212 yards against. That's not helpful. And it was probably the number one thing that Joey Porter needed to clean up coming into this season. Now, he's been injured. He hasn't played a whole ton, just against the Jets and then last week against the Browns. But just one flag, a declined offside penalty so far. No pass interference penalties. And that is a encouraging sign. Obviously, if you're getting 17, you're averaging 1 a game. And yeah, he did get the 1, but nothing that is reflective of his ability in and the crew last week had this weird obsession with defensive players lining up in the neutral zone. They threw 3 of them. That will be really put to the test this week because Higgins is trouble. Higgins against the Steelers has been extremely good. He had in 2022 a 148-yard game, in 2021 a 115-yard game, in 2020 a 115-yard game, in 2023 a 140-yard game. He has obliterated the Steelers in his matchups against Pittsburgh. But the penalties certainly being said, last season in Cincinnati, Higgins had 5 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Last season in Pittsburgh, Higgins had 4 catches for 53 yards. Okay, that's still a good day for most wide receivers, but it is not Tee Higgins taking over the game to the level that he has in the past. There's a little bit there of a positive trend for the Steelers. Not all that was Joey Porter Jr. He was being asked to kind of do multiple things last year, so he was covering Jamar Chase at sometimes and not just Tee Higgins. But if Joey can go out there and win this matchup, I think it really says a lot about his development, where he's going as a cornerback. You know, he was drafted to be that number 1 corner, outside threat, shutdown guy. And I'm not saying I've been disappointed by his development, but he hasn't become that yet. He hasn't shown that he can be that to this point. I certainly wouldn't write it off, but he hasn't shown it yet. And with Jalen Ramsey in the fold now, there are only going to be so many opportunities Porter is going to get to really show that development this year. I mean, if there is a number 1 receiver who's a shifty inside-outside type, I would assume that Ramsey is going to get him. In fact, Higgins is technically not the Bengals' number 1 receiver. But so there are only going to be so many guys that are really good, elite wide receivers that Joey is just going to get fed and say, here you go, shut him down. And he's going to be able to show his progress in becoming that player. And today is probably the first, this week, I should say, is probably the first opportunity for him to do so. Really excited to see if he can keep the penalty flags at bay and also continue this recent trend of the Steelers doing a little bit better against Tee Higgins. And of course, it doesn't hurt that Joe Flacco is going to be throwing the ball either. Certainly not as capable as Burrow, but remember, one of those games was with Browning. So we'll see what the Bengals can do and how the Steelers can stop it. That's all I got for this morning. Thanks for watching another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. Like I said, more with Afternoon Drive, me, Smitty, full Steelers Bengals preview tonight, 6 p.m. here on the YouTube channel and in your audio feeds. Then you got Joe Morrison on the night shift live at 8. And then we've got another Afternoon Drive again tomorrow and another Morning Rush tomorrow. So all kinds of stuff going on here on the short week. Until next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and enjoy.